That's the chocolates off. Um, so today is the day that I'm getting my passport so I can start an OnlyFans. This is not video promotion, but I just thought I'd say that. That's what's happening today. Um, to generalize what's been happening with me in my life currently, I'm trying to get into accommodation with the council in my home country of Ireland. I don't sound Irish, but I actually am. I got a speech thing because of the autism. Lots of autistic people can have different regional accents to the one that they're born with, or a speech thing. Mine is a highly Americanized accent. What's been happening? I'm trying to get accommodation, and if the council can't help me out with getting accommodations, then I can get out of my parents' house. Because I live in the middle of nowhere, and there's not really any job opportunities near me. There's like a hotel and a pub, and the hotel doesn't fucking want my ass. It doesn't want my unqualified ass. And the pub, my parents don't want me there. I guess at some point I'm probably going to have to clarify exactly the kind of abuse I went through and exactly what my home situation has been for the past 20 years of my life here on planet Earth. God, 20 years is such a long fucking time. It is such a long ass time to be miserable. You know? But this video is literally just gonna be about what's been happening recently. I'm trying to get into accommodation, getting my passport so that just in case I can't and just in case the council can't help me, or for whatever reason I can't get all the paperwork I need done for them quickly or at all, then if I start working on OnlyFans, which I guess in a sense I'm kind of forced to, but I don't really mind. I don't mind the idea of doing OnlyFans, to be quite frank. Dear God, I hope no one I know sees this. It's just I sometimes worry whenever I talk about this stuff that someone from my family is gonna somehow find my videos, or somehow find the things that I post about. Just shit like this. Just NSFW stuff. I don't think they could or would, because I don't think they do anything on the internet besides, I don't know, my mom's case, just watch reruns of Red Hot Chili Peppers. The days when she was a fucking rocker kid. Reliving the good old days. She doesn't really do much other than that, to be honest. My dad's case, watch ladies at the gym do gym things. Which feels weird. You know? Does that count as cheating? Because there's so many different kinds of cheating. Emotional affairs. It just feels weird. I felt weird when I realized my dad did that. So if the council doesn't help me, hopefully I'll be able to make some money on OnlyFans, and that will be me saving up for shared accommodation. Because I would be in shared accommodation already if I had known it was a thing. I didn't know it was a thing, and I was receiving enough money at Youth Reach that would have paid it would have paid rent for accommodation, you know, or at the very least it would have given me the opportunity to find work, you know, while in accommodation, while I'm waiting to be able to pay my rent. Either way, I wouldn't be in this situation if I had known that shared accommodation was a thing. Although, to be quite frank, I think I probably should have started looking at homeless shelters a long time ago. You know? Because I was trying to tough it out in my home situation, but eventually it just got too much. My mom started subtly starving me. I'm not shitting you. And that kind of became the straw that broke the camel's back. That my brother Ruben tried to stab me. other than all that crap, um, I had a pretty hard day yesterday because my ex, I found out that my ex hadn't blocked me on Instagram. I blocked him first, then unblocked him so I could get my shit back from him because I'm a petty piece of shit. And I gave him really nice things. Really nice things I thought in the end I kind of deserved because he was a bit of a butthole. But I found out recently that he hadn't blocked me back. I must have forgotten to block him or such, so I had to do that yesterday, which was still kind of hard and upsetting. And it just reminded me of like, I literally only had one good romantic partner in the entirety of my romantic escapades. And there seems to be a general theme with the men that I'm coming across. This feels like really poor content for a video. I haven't been sleeping because I got into a fight with my dad and threw a coffee pot at him because my fight or flight response seems to be pretty much skewed in the direction of fight these days. I think it's because I have a feeling that I might be able to get out soon. So it's harder and harder and harder and harder for me to not get angry. I didn't throw it at him because I was angry. I threw it at him because I was scared. And for whatever reason, that's my fear response. My fear response is fight as well. I spent the rest of the night so fucking terrified he would try to do something to me that I was fighting the urge to go at him with a baseball bat just so he wouldn't be able to get up or do anything to me. Which is a funny kind of fear response, isn't it? How the fuck does that work at all? I had to block another man as well that I was having a situationship with. He was also a piece of shit. A few days ago or so, I kind of came to realize, came in deeper connection with what my gender is, which is androgynous, with the masculine leaning feminine moods. And I've been thinking about I was I'm so reluctant to share things in a video. For fuck's sakes, this is the point of the thing. Deprogramming. Deprogramming wise, I haven't done any alter work. I haven't done any parts work in a long, long ass time, to the point at which I'm nearly reluctant to, because my alters like to be listened to the point at which I'm worried that if I kind of turn my focus inward, I'm just going to get a bunch of screaming voices like, why haven't you been listening to us? Why haven't you been talking to us? You know? Which I don't think is how dissociative disorders work in most people. But as the host, I have a pretty strong hand on the rest of my system. I'm pretty much in control. But for years, I didn't know I had alters, so what happens is that they come up, and I switch very, very subtly to the point at which I still think that I'm the host. But my voice will change, and my actions will change, and I'll know something is different, but I'll play it off like, oh, no, I feel different, you know? I'm just sad. That's why I'm talking with a different voice. And wearing different clothes. And making whole new decisions in my life. It got to the point at which I was giving things away that I thought I didn't like anymore, like clothes or makeup, because my interests would shift moment to moment. So I'd give shit away, only to realize a few seconds later, like, why did I give that away? Why did I give away my most treasured porcelain doll? I had a thing for porcelain dolls. I still have a thing for porcelain dolls. To, like, my sister. You know? That's why I have a tendency to steal shit back from my siblings, from anyone I give my stuff to. Because my interests would change so quickly from altar to altar, from moment to moment. And it'd be so creepy because I'd subtly shift and I just play it off. I think I knew, that it was a bit more extreme than is normal, you know? But I just played it off as me being indecisive. Now that I think about it, I can't think of many people who have gone through the amount of changes I have, fashion wise, aesthetic wise, food wise, personality wise. I can think of quite a few people who seem to have stayed mostly the same from the moment that I've met them to now. God, that is most people. Jesus Christ. Oh, shit. No, so I haven't been doing any coursework lately. I really, really should, because at some point my system is going to get fed the fuck up of not being listened to. Because I don't know how to accommodate all my alters, to be quite frank. Letting myself open myself up to their influence and decisions, just like closing my eyes and being like, okay, guys, you can fucking talk now. When I'm trying to be in control and live, sometimes it will literally sound like this. I wake up in the morning and I'm like, what do I want to eat? And I'm trying to let my alters decide. I want cream puffs. And then the voice will say, why would we eat it all? Can we not just like drink some coffee? Eating is bad. I have some alters like that. I used to be anorexic. Or I'll have another alter that's like, I want a green smoothie. Then I'll have another fucking alter that's like, I want an omelet. Then I'll have another alter that's like, I just want to get up and run around. It's just never fucking ending. And I don't know if that is normal. I feel, to be quite frank, like I'm making a mockery of people with dissociative identities. Because this is shit. This just doesn't sound even real. I don't know how to accommodate them all day by day by day. And as a host, I assume I'm speaking as the host right now. Because I'll be in my host self. I'll have influences from other alters coming in, and from each year in my life, my host will be more aligned with a certain alter or certain alter family. So if I find that if I'm in a situation where my life is very relaxed and I'm trying to work a lot and feeling relaxed and feminine and such, my alter, my host self will still be my host self, but there will be influences in my speech, influences in my choice of clothes, influence in my choice of food, influence in my choice of music, influence in my decisions from lilac, lavender, alter family. I've categorized all my alter families by color. So I won't have switched entirely, to any other alter. I'll still be in my host self, but there'll be a lot of influences from these alters, to the point at which there might even be times, if I feel comfortable enough, because when I'm really, really stressed or I'm dealing with something in my life, I tend to just switch into the host entirely. But it can get to the point at which I am actually fully switching into one, both, or many of these alters in this family, but I'll switch back to the host. So I'm in my host self practically 24/7, but at the same time I can't entirely I don't know exactly how to track how long I'm in my host self, because there will be times where I don't realize I've switched, and I have, and it's very mental and internal and creepy as shit, to be quite frank. Right now, the alter family and the alter that my host self is most aligned with in day-to-day life and is receiving the most influence and input from. I don't know if this has been like this from the beginning, if my host self kind of spawned from and is under control of this altar nearly all of the time and from the beginning. You know, I haven't done a lot of self-awareness regarding my host self, because for a long, long time I literally was just so used to being in my host self that I just assumed, oh, of course I have personalities, but like the person I'm right now is not another personality. I shift into other personalities from time to time. But this self right here is not another personality. This is just me. Because I I knew so little about it, I guess. It's a little experience, and I don't know how to explain it. I don't know. God, I don't know if anyone can tell, but I'm not entirely yet comfortable with this shit. I'm really not. On one hand, I feel like I'm making fun of people with dissociative identities who have it much, much worse than I do. On the other hand, I also feel like I'm fucking crazy. You know? Like the old way of seeing mental illnesses where you were just crazy. That's a strange kind of paradox. I'm not crazy enough, but god damn it, if I'm not walking the line is the way I feel. What the fuck was I talking about? What the fuck was I talking about before I started talking about how fucking insane I am? Yeah. Distract. Um, Host self, OnlyFans, stupid men that I date. I should stop dating men because they suck. My hair is awesome. I have completely lost the run of myself. I don't know what the fuck I was talking to. Talking about. Talking about. I can't remember. I can't freaking remember. Shit. Shit. Fuck me. Oh yeah, that's what I was meant to be talking about. No, I'm still not entirely comfortable sharing aspects of my childhood yet, simply because I'm terrified one of my family members might somehow buy. Actually, no, I'll change my profile picture so it won't be my face. It'll be like something else so that no one can find my channel. I'm a genius! No. I'm terrified they're gonna find my channel and I'll talk about my childhood and I'll just get hate or them questioning me. Or I'll go home and there'll be a fight or something. Which is really unlikely. So I guess I should just talk. One of the things regarding my childhood and deprogramming and trauma work that I have been doing or considering is the whole golden child aspect of it. Because as far as I'm aware, I was the golden child up until a certain age, and then my role got switched to the scapegoat in my teenage years. But I was always really talented at art. And recently I've been making a lot of progress when it comes to my art because I'm very perfectionistic. And growing up, if I was sitting there drawing a picture, just some dumb fucking little kid thing to draw, like a unicorn kitten, like a unicorn kitten puppy dog that shoots rainbows from its arsehole. my dad or my mom or anyone would sit beside me and start to tell me about genius kids in the rest of the world that were already selling their artworks, I'd be like 6, 7, I would be like young, you know? And I was good, but I wasn't Picasso. I'm still pretty good, to be honest. I should post some of my art at some point. I have some of it up on my Instagram. They'd start to tell me about artistic kids in the rest of the world that had already been selling their paintings for loads of for millions. And you know, I could do that if and they would be like, yeah, if we got you some paints, I'm sure you could manage that, Kaya. And that's kind of how I became the only golden child in my family, is simply through talent and some charisma. Some people tell me I possessed at a young age that clearly did not translate to my adult life. Apparently, I was a really adorable child. But I've been thinking about that, and I've been thinking about how much like fucking pressure that is to put on a little kid, and how when I make a piece of art, I won't even finish it a great deal of the time, or I'll destroy it before it's finished, even if it's really fucking good. And it's not like a huge traumatic thing, but realizing that that was kind of fucked of the people around me to do to me as a young kid, because I already had the dynamic going on in me that I felt like love was something to be earned, which, as far as I'm aware, is a common experience with people who end up developing narcissistic traits in their personality. The feeling that love must be earned, so one cannot be anything less than perfect. Which was definitely, that's one of the things in my childhood that I feel like was one of the building blocks for my later switch to a narcissistic way of behaving and being in the world. Which I might still possess, to be quite frank. Um, it is so strange staring into my face. I am talking and I'm staring into my dead eyes. That's so weird. So strange. Um, anyways, yeah, childhood. Childhood and all its wonders. Maybe like a mask or something. This is so strange. Anyways, um, yeah, so I've been making progress with my art because for the first time in my entire life, I have been telling myself and repeating the mantra to myself, which is one of my mantras. Um, the things I make are my own. Because when I kind of woke up to how perfectionistic I was, and how perfectionistic I was based off of the things and the pressure that I'm being put put on me as a kid, not just with art, but with many, many things. I kind of realized that there was nothing that I was doing, no hobby or interest. And it's funny, okay, it's funny that I have all of these personalities. They're all very strong personalities, so they all have their own thing going. You know, one will be a goth and will be really into like chains and leather and black. Whenever I'm in that personality, I want nothing to do with flowy dresses. I want to look like a little androgynous pixie chick, pixie boy. I don't want my tits showing nothing. And I'll be like kind of an angry personality. And then there'll be another personality that wants to wear Lolita clothes and bake little French croissants and listen to Lana Del Rey. Like, all of my personalities are so strong in themselves as personalities. So it's funny that I got that, and then at the same time, in my day-to-day life, there was literally no decision that I was making, no hobby that I possessed, no interests that I would allow myself to indulge in. That I didn't know, I a I didn't have the expectation. A so bad at talking. I wouldn't let myself get involved with unless I knew that I could be good or perhaps the best at it. That was the kind of mentality I was going at everything with my life in. If I cannot achieve greatness with my crocheting, then there was no point. No point. There's no point. I couldn't just like have a hobby for fun. And that's kind of sad. It's kind of hitting me now that that's like really sad. The joys of being an ex-narcissist, I guess. Yeah, I'm gonna cry on camera. Whew. Sorry. Can I take this seriously? Serious, be serious, be serious. This is a serious channel about serious things, like mental illness. And no, I couldn't have a hobby. So I've been coming to a break in my art where I finally started making pieces. I've made one piece so far. I've got many more that I want to. Specifically, I'm going to do a poem about being trans, being on the transgender, non-binary spectrum. Basically, a poem about not knowing what the fuck is supposed to be between my legs. I've been coming to a break in that, where through repeating that mantra long enough to myself that the things I make are my own, for me, and kind of feeling into how good it would feel to like have things in my life, like hobbies, interests, pieces of art, poetry, music, anything really that is my own and just for me. And feeling how good that feels every single time I say that mantra. I finally kind of come to a point at which I've started making art that is, well, it's fluid. I'm not spending painstaking amount of detail being like, I must get this right. The shading on this sunflower, it's pathetic. I shall set it now on fire. I will never amount to anything. And I'm gonna post, I might actually use that as my profile picture instead of my other profile picture I have up at the moment. I'm going to need to change that profile picture at some point anyways. But I'll post it because it is actually super fucking cool and I'm super fucking proud of myself. Just if anybody perfectionistic, anybody knows that they're perfectionistic is watching this, you can absolutely make progress. I'm not shitting you. And it is beautiful. Like I thought it was crap because I didn't have brushes to paint it with, and in the end I'd done it with oil. It's literally just a pair of tits. That's my painting, that's my grand's entrance into the art world is a pair of tits. A really artistic pair of tits, okay? When I think about the kind of art I want to make, there's a lot of titties in there. There's a lot of titties. No, you can absolutely make progress too. And one day you may be lucky enough to paint beautiful portraits of tits, like me. I think that is the perfect place to end this video. Have hope. Have hope, my dear perfectionists. You too can paint titties and boobies beautifully.